The Pittsburgh Steelers have brought back a very familiar face. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports for round 2 of the day here on the channel. The Pittsburgh Steelers go out there and grab themselves a veteran cornerback and a troubled guy, Cam Sutton, a guy that's been dealing with a lot of legal issues. Cam Sutton, a guy that the Pittsburgh Steelers definitely didn't want to get rid of during the free agency period, really tried to bring back, but due to some family circumstance and, maybe some money, Cam went out to Detroit. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers were pretty close in what they were offering him as to what Detroit gave him also, which was a big deal. I think $30-some million. But Cam Sutton ended up going to Detroit. Now here during the offseason, you saw a real tumultuous situation that's going to probably provide a lot of media backlash since the Pittsburgh Steelers are signing Cam Sutton back to this roster on a 1-year veteran minimum deal. Football-wise, guys, this makes a lot of sense. Cam Sutton is a real familiar face, a guy that you know can be a playmaker, a guy that you know you can trust, a veteran guy that you've seen do big things inside of a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform. Last year in Detroit, his statistics were not great. He didn't have a great year. It wasn't Cam's best season, but Cam Sutton, with the change, moving to a new team, a new city, maybe that contributed to it with a new scheme and things of that nature, but he finds himself coming back to a familiar place with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think that having a reunion with the Pittsburgh Steelers, football-wise, is really going to help Cam Sutton return back to what we had been used to seeing, a guy that can cause timely turnovers, a guy that can play inside and out, a guy that can play the nickel slot, whatever. He can play all over the place and really just be a real presence out there and a guy that you can really rely on and really trust, and I think it provides a lot of veteran leadership back to that room. Now, when you look at his off-the-field issues with the domestic violence charge that was dropped down to a misdemeanor, you often wonder, though, how this is going to work out with the commissioner in the league at the NFL offices in New York. Are they going to suspend Cam Sutton at some point this season? Or do they wait until this judicial system, the wheels on it, continue to spin and they finish and finalize whatever it may be that Cam Sutton ends up being charged with, or convicted of or not convicted of? Those things are going to play a big role. So maybe he doesn't even get suspended this year because maybe it doesn't get finalized and, it's just up in the air. So maybe nothing happens to Cam. Maybe he gets suspended during the middle of the year because the legal issues, come to a close. Maybe the charges get dropped. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But maybe also coming back to the Pittsburgh Steelers, being around people that you consider your family, maybe that will help Cam get these off the field things, maybe taken care of and tidied up a little bit, being around familiar faces, being around friends, being around your family, to help him out. Maybe that helps guide him. In no way do I endorse anything domestic violence-wise. I think it's bullshit. I hate it. I think it should not be in our society, man. People should be adults and not hit each other, not, touch each other in any way. You're adults, men, women. Don't lay your hands on each other. Talk it out, figure it out, be adults. No, everybody's going to raise their voice and things of that nature, but figure out how to come to a common ground before you lay hands on each other and learn to walk away. Cam Sutton, though, we'll see how this is like a media backlash, a PR nightmare maybe in some instances with the Steelers bringing back Cam Sutton on this 1-year veteran minimum deal. However, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to really benefit on the football field from having a guy like Cam Sutton, especially early on in the season, while you allow your young guys, Beanie Bishops, Corey Trices, the Darius Rushes, all those guys to really start to get their feet underneath them and really start to gain some ground and potentially see some playing time. You got Dante Jackson, Anthony Averett. You got some guys that are veterans also. You got a second-year Joey Porter Jr., but the addition of Cam Sutton really bolsters this cornerback room in a big way, and I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will truly benefit from that. But as of right now, though, guys, it's going to be up in the air with what really happens with Cam Sutton and if there's any type of if there's any type of suspension or anything that could cause a real disruption in the Pittsburgh Steelers season. But you really hope to have him early in the season. If he's going to get suspended, you would rather him get suspended, around game 6. That way you can maybe, have him for that playoff run, have him for that hard stretch in the back half, and have him at the beginning when you're trying to get your rookies, your young talent to really start to develop, and give them time to figure out what they are and who they are as an NFL cornerback. So maybe, that's the best case scenario, hopefully, for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But again, guys, Cam Sutton, a real playmaker for the Steelers, a lot of good moments. And I know the Pittsburgh Steelers definitely didn't want him to leave. But when he did, they had to figure it out. They went out, got Joey Porter Jr. They've revamped this room, got rid of some of the older talent, brought in a Patrick Peterson. But you see this Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback room, and it looks vastly different than it has in years past. So I have high hopes for it. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers made a great move here, bringing in a veteran like Cam Sutton, football-wise. Now, off the field bullshit, I don't know. The man's innocent until proven guilty. We'll let the judicial system handle that. Again, though, in my eyes, I'm not down for the bullshit with the domestic violence, but you'll just have to see exactly what happens here with Cam Sutton, how this whole thing all develops. But I think the Pittsburgh Steelers definitely did their due diligence whenever you're talking about uncovering every little stone, turning over every rock and stone to see what was underneath it, because they have their own investigators that are the Pittsburgh Steelers team investigators that go out and figure these things out and look into these incidents. And they're definitely advising the Pittsburgh Steelers on what could potentially happen. And I can guarantee you this, guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers know every situation that could play out here. And I think that they wouldn't have made this signing if they weren't comfortable with how this is going to play out. I think they would have left it alone and not brought him back if they thought that there was going to be some sort of delay in his play, some monster suspension, or if, maybe more things are going to come out. I think they know exactly what happened. I think Cam has told them exactly what happened. I think the investigators have done their job, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are truly comfortable with bringing back veteran Cameron Sutton to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that is a major bombshell news of the day for your Steelers. This is round 2 here on Mike Drop Sports, our second upload. Don't forget tonight to join us for our live stream. We call it Steel City Live. I feel like it's one of the better places for you to come as a fan and get your voices heard. We try to answer all the chat comments. We really try to include you, Steeler Nation, inside of the show and not let you just be a spectator and not have any say. So we really try to do that for you guys in Steeler Nation. So make sure you subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you know exactly when we go live. And thank you for watching. And if you've watched this far, make sure you hit the shit out of that like button and make sure that you subscribe and join the Mic Drop Mafia family and a whole bunch of like-minded NFL fans and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. And we welcome everybody from all different fan bases. So you can come talk football with us every weekday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Mic Drop Sports. So I'm Jason. Don't forget our daily uploads. Make sure you are watching them every day. They're out every morning and also sometimes in the middle of the day like this one. So until next time, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace.